riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick an album or a song, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you, the listener, whether or not we hate it, and of course, why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me as always, co-host extraordinaire, the Bashir al-Assad to my Ahmed al-Shara, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing?
Real mixed bag. First of all, I don't know why you insist on antagonizing the Syrians.
I'm celebrating their liberation?
We'll see.
TBD.
History will tell. Garrett,
if you're listening to this in the future, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. Did Syria fall?
It did.
Sorry, that was tasteless. Is there still a Syria? Title it Re-Syria.
Interesting. But yeah, it's been a mixed bag, Garrett. My identity got stolen by some asshole in Austin, which isn't great. But you know me, Garrett. I'm always one to make lemonade out of life's proverbial lemons. So with a few anonymous calls, I ratted that fucking Strangler out to APD, and apparently they closed that case.
Fascinating.
Yeah, the West Campus Strangler, apparently, well, first of all, a guy that is definitely not me, and apparently some sort of weak-thumbed 27-year-old named Travis has finally been brought to justice. And I just want to think, Garrett, think about this. He strangled most of his victims as a fucking child.
Yeah, that timeline is pretty perplexing.
Yeah.
Quick side note, unrelated, super unrelated. Should I be referring to you exclusively as Gordon going forward?
No, I think I'm good, Garrett. I think I'm all in the clear vis-a-vis not having strangled all those people.
Sure. No one's debating that. I'm just saying it sounds as though someone named Timothy Richardson has in fact been found guilty of those crimes?
No, Garrett. Travis has.
I'm not sure I follow. He's moving right along.
Also, Garrett, all our West Coast properties burned down. That's not ideal. I was out there for about a week checking on them. They're all burned.
They are gone.
Yes. Also, apparently, Garrett, chaos reigns. It's apparently no longer illegal to just storm the Capitol as long as you're doing it on behalf of a fascist. So enjoy that new perk.
Ugh,
Maybe we could... No.
It's going to be a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, not that you ever asked, but I'll go ahead and let you know. Anyway, similar situation on my side of the house. A lot of high highs and low lows. As I said at the start of the year, this year we're switching places. I'm trying new, exciting life adventures. I spent the last 2 weeks both starting, founding, building, succeeding, and ultimately demolishing my new business, Dr. PJ McNarley's Equine Ecstasy, which was basically just really big doses of MDMA with a personal filler of my own design.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that.
I'll bet you did. We were wildly successful. However, side effect, some of the horses did experience equal parts bliss and euphoria, as well as terror and hallucinations of death.
You know, the good thing about MDMA is that it is not considered a drug if you're selling it for veterinarian purposes.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is, as long as that guy's got some sort of animal, you can sell him MDMA.
I'm getting some medication for my turtle.
Do not give a turtle MDMA. Oh my God.
No, Tim, it was for the guy. It was for the guy.
Well, no, I'm sure. I'm just saying, don't accidentally give that turtle MDMA. That thing will...
Well, it'll die.
No, Garrett. No, it won't. It will...
Be enlightened.
Ugh. It's a lot grosser than that, friends.
Gross. Anyway, Tim, horse ecstasy aside... What song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to Jackman Harlow's 2024 single, Lovin' on Me. This was requested a bunch of times over the past few months. I am not really sure why. Perhaps some people were hoping to get more insight into Garg's personal life. We shall see.
That's a great question. Listeners, why this?
I mean, I kind of get it. I kind of think you're trying to bait Garrett, but we'll see.
Or hear about my baiting. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, there you go. Bait him into talking about baiting.
Right. The old bait. Stop. Don't do it. We're done. Not another version. We're done riffing that bit. It's as dead as a horse overdosing on equine ecstasy.
That one's still got some life in it. That's good to know.
It does.
We'll
That's
do a couple of callbacks.
Yeah. That's best when you explain them. All right, Tim, I'm super curious. Do you hate this song?
No, I don't. What about you?
Ooh, what a good question that was. No, I kind of hate all the Jack Harlow parts.
Yeah, he's not great.
Not great. We're going to have to do an album because I don't think that this is what he sounds like all the time. But I could be dead wrong. Listeners, is it always this? If so, we're good. All right, Tim, you don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think there's room for us both to get there, possibly at the exact same time. But in order to do that, we need to dive deeper. So I'm curious, prior to this week, what's your history with Mr. Lowe? Have you ever been jacked? And if so, what was it like?
I have never once jacked, Garrett. I have no history whatsoever with this song or with the Jackman.
Interesting nickname.
It's okay. We'll get there. What about you? Have you heard this guy before? You let this guy jack around and, whatever it is we're doing here.
Yeah, I think your version fell apart a bit, but no. I'm right there with you. I don't actually know who this guy is at all.
Oh, well, I'm going to enlighten you because I did a lot of research.
I'm really disappointed to hear that. I do know, or I shouldn't say I know, it is my belief that he might be a true, rags to riches situation. And, I always like to hear about that.
Yeah, but his face still...
We are not at the point where we're going to talk about his face, but we will.
He's got a goddamn Tim beard. All right. We'll get there.
He's got a ball sack for a face. That's what that facial hair is. It's just pubes.
Yes.
It's not a beard if I can see space between the hair and the chin, right? I can see the face.
Yeah, it doesn't come together into a solid mass yeah.
Yeah, it's like blue bonnets or something. It's like wheat growing out there. At the base you can see through it, and at the top is where it begins to thicken.
I don't want to jump all the way to the YouTube comments just yet, but somebody wrote that he looks like the half goat, half human from Chronicles of Narnia, and that is accurate.
He is giving off severe Tumnus vibes.
Interesting.
We all know of Mr. Tumnus, Tim.
Anyway, Garrett,
he offered that boy Turkish delight. Or maybe the boy offered the goat man Turkish delight. Either way, it was a good decade before I learned that was candy. Who knew Turkish delight was candy?
Everything can. It doesn't matter.
Don't ever say that. Okay. You don't hate him. I don't hate him. Personal history. We did all that. That brings us to what I suspect is going to be my least favorite part, but maybe my favorite. Surprise me, Tim. Take me on a journey. Paint a word picture. Who is Mr. Harlow? How did Jack get to this point? He's seemingly a global superstar. Tell us his tale.
Jackman Thomas Harlow, real name, would like us to call him Jack, as he now considers the two of us to be his friends, and as he says, quote-unquote, nicknames are for friends. But that is ridiculous. His name is Jackman, and he will be addressed as either Jackman or the Jackman for the rest of this show. When he was in studio for the pre-show interview, I gave 3 of our interns a patented Garrett P. Harvey number 4 style slap for calling him Jack or Mr. Harlow, which really seemed to upset the Jackman. He was, did not care for that amount of violence, but...
Anti-slap. Interesting.
Yes, well, if the patented Garrett P. Harvey number 4 style slap is, of course, when you slap someone's face straight on, aiming for the nose, and you use a closed fist.
You know what, man? You're going to think I'm foolish for saying it, but I think those posters are paying off. You did that right from memory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know all the different styles now.
That's amazing. God, good for you. Honestly, makes me a little scared to slap you in the future.
It shouldn't. I have not seen any posters around with advice on how to defend against a slap.
And you won't.
Fair enough. Anyway, Jackman was born in the depressingly recent year of 1998 in Louisville, Kentucky, and raised on a Kid Rock-style pony farm amongst Shelbyvillians. Shelbyville is, of course, known as the longtime home of Colonel Harlan David Sanders, Chicken King First of Kentucky, and later, the world, although he would later come to regret his contributions to the world, calling KFC, and I'm quoting here, goddamn slop.
He was a treat.
Yeah, he would later die of acute leukemia in 1980, his body picked apart by chickens at his funeral per his last requests. One last penance for the Holocaust he helped bestow. Anywho.
Allegedly.
No, that happened. Jackman and his...
I don't think he was consumed by birds, as was his wish, is what you just said.
Anywho, Garrett... Jackman and his suspiciously named friend Copeland Garvey started rapping as children, and at 12 he recorded some stuff with a Guitar Hero microphone, selling a CD called Rippin' and Rappin' at Highland Middle School. Ugh. He made his first
Adorable.
He made his first real mixtape called Extra Credit, again ridiculous, in 7th grade under the name Mr. Harlow, and then started a rapist collective called Moose Gang, and made 2 unreleased mixtapes called Moose Gang and Music for the Deaf, a clever title for a guy who swears to never have heard of Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, I'm going to pause you right. Well, interesting. That can't be true. I just want to stop you here because let this be inspirational, folks. Everything you've heard so far is foolish and mockable. However, kudos, Mr. Harlow, because it just proves that anything can be a thing if you say it is. This guy basically was like, no, I'm a rapper. And everyone was like, okay. And he just kept saying it long enough until everyone was like, oh, okay.
You should say that you're a poet like 6 or 8 more times.
Oh, I'm scared to, Tim. I don't want to go on a book tour. I guarantee you I could spit out some garbage that some idiot would publish and then make me go say it strangers. Not doing that.
That's what we do now.
Suckers.
Okay. All right.
There are at least, but I believe, well, no, I shouldn't say that.
Do not say that. In 2015, when Jackman was 17 or so, he released his first actual EP, The Handsome Harlow, and played around Louisville venues to some relatively big success locally. He released the mixtape 18 in 2016 after graduating from high school with his new group of rapists, Private Garden, and kind of immediately blew up online. He got to do South by Southwest and Bonnaroo amongst some other big festivals. He released a few more singles and music videos, including Dark Knight, which I am sorry to report does not seem to be as Batman-centric as anyone would have liked. He released a new mixtape called Gazebo, perhaps, in 2017, toured on that, and then was the opener for Why I Hate This Album Alumnices and Enemies of Grammar, Portugal the Man, which, as we have discussed, is very different from Portugal the Land.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Then this jackass moved to Atlanta and started working at the Chick-fil-A at Georgia State University.
I've been to that Chick-fil-A.
You have. You've possibly eaten food prepared by Jackman.
What year?
2016, 2017.
Ooh, maybe 2016. I had a client there from 2013 to 2016. I also did several lunges in front of that Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
It was a green space where I would do my lunges.
Jackman may have written a song about your thighs. We owe it to ourselves to go back and listen to all his music and find out if there is a song called Meaty Thighs or About Meaty Thighs.
Or hairy shirtless man across the street. How many lunges could he be possibly doing? The answer was 1,000. I was doing 1,000.
That's too many lunges, but also you're making Jackman very uncomfortable. But it's unclear why he did this, right? I thought that timeline was maybe wrong, or maybe he decided to go to college and this happened earlier in the story, or he got scammed out of all of his money and rapping ability, or he was cursed by a witch and had to go work in fast food. But it seems like he moved to Atlanta seemingly to work at the historic Georgia State Chick-fil-A and get some inspiration from those hairy thighs. While working that weird job, he had a chance encounter with somebody named DJ Drama, who, if Wikipedia is to be inferred, did not know he was a musician, but was so taken with his chicken skills that he signed him to his label in conjunction with Atlantic Records in 2018. He released some more singles, some more mixtapes. He got nominated for a 2019 BET Hip Hop Award for Best Mixtape. Thank God he lost that. More singles and mixtapes happened, and he was the musical guest on SNL. He did some collabos with people like DaBaby, Lil Wayne, Tory Lanez, Adam Levine, Christopher Brown, Bruce, aka Eminem, Lil Nas X, K-Way, and somebody called Pooh Shiesty.
I know Pooh Shiesty. Is Tory Lanez the one that's in jail presently for shooting people in the feet?
Well, just the one person, but he did shoot her in both feet with one bullet, I believe.
I wonder how that's going.
Probably poorly. He released his first actual album, That's What They All Say, in 2020. That was a platinum album and hit number 5 on the US Billboard 200. In 2022, he released his second album, Come Home the Kids Miss You. That, I think, did a little bit better. I think that hit number 3. That featured collabos with Justin Timberlake, Aubrey Drake, and Pharrell Williams. That year, he was also both the host and musical guest on SNL for some reason. Once you're listening to this, I believe Timothée Chalamet is doing this as well while pretending to be Bob Dylan.
Is he really?
I think so. He is going to be both the host and musical guest. I kind of hope he's not going to do the Bob Dylan thing. But we will know by the time this airs, I believe.
But also does an impersonation of yet another artist. So it's, I don't know, Cat Stevens.
Maybe, but he's a huge rap fan.
Is he really?
He is.
Oh, please do a very, very spot-on impersonation of Lil Wayne.
Please don't. Please don't.
for the sake of America.
Yeah. We are at a very fragile place. We cannot take that.
Quite frankly, Tim, I don't know what is and isn't going to offend people anymore.
Fair enough.
What I think should offend people doesn't.
Yes.
We're doomed.
Jackman also took place in the 2022 NBA Celebrity All-Star Game in Cleveland, Ohio. He played on Team Neek, coached by Dominique Wilkins, and also featuring Tiffany Haddish. Unfortunately, they lost to Team Walton, a team featuring Clavel, Machine Gun Kelly, and Bachelor Nation's first African-American bachelor and recently single, Matt James.
This fact sucks. Just like T to B could have been omitted.
Okay, well let me redeem myself here, Garrett. Given his apparent b-ball skills, he was in a remake of White Man Can't Jump in 2023.
That's why you included it. I stand corrected. You know what? I apologize.
I have not seen this film. Presumably and hopefully he was in the Woody Harrelson role.
We can only hope.
You know, maybe it was good. I don't think anyone saw it. I think it was a straight to Hulu release.
Dude, I had no idea they did that.
No one did.
God, I assume you've seen the original.
Oh, yeah. In 2023, he also released his third album, Jackman, and the non-album single of the week, which is presumably going to be the first single off of his next album, I guess. I don't know. In 2024, he started his own music festival in Louisville called the Gazebo Festival. He was also in a Matt Damon, Casey Affleck film, The Instigators, in 2024. And again, at some point, he grew what can only be described as a real Tim quality cartoon goat beard.
He does. You know what he looks like is, God, what was his name? Jim Brewer. Goat Boy? Remember that?
Oh, yeah. That's the goat he looks like. Yeah. Currently, also, there is some sort of promotion in Louisville where there's a bunch of secret websites and you can get hints to find out what they are. They're all related to Jackman lyrics. And if people figure them out, they get free things, fancy things in Louisville. For example, the first person that found www.meandthecardinalsaresharingasection.com got a VIP trip to Louisville. Got to go to one of their basketball games.
Pass.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. A Bashar al-Assad to you.
God damn it. And a meh to you.
That's very insulting to the to our Islamic
to
listeners.
To our goat man hybrid listeners.
Well, them too, but...
Oh. Fascinating. Great history, Tim. That is to say, not too terribly long. You know, I respect this guy. He stuck it out. Doesn't seem to be a whole bunch of nepotism in the mix. Like, people just like what he's doing. I don't get it.
Yeah, I definitely
like
get it. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into the meat of it, let's give everybody a little taste, shall we? If you haven't heard it before and you don't have time to listen to the whole compliment, here's a little taste of Jack Harlow's Lovin' on Me.
I'm vanilla, baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby. She 28, telling me I'm still a baby.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
Yeah, and I will say this, it feels more real than a lot of SoundCloud rap. I mean, there's obviously no auto-tune, but there seems to be less of it.
That's true. And you know what? It isn't just like, it's not just listing things he owns.
Sure, absolutely. Musically, it's very bouncy and forgettable. I will say this as well. I would prefer he went by Jackman, but I like that he goes by just his name, right? He's not trying to make J-Spot or J-Unit or Violent J or whatever work. Just, yeah, my name's Jack.
Lil Jackman.
Ooh, you know what?
We're putting it out there. You can have that for free, Harlow. We won't sue you. Lil Jackman. God, if he was just like 4 years older, he literally could have been named after Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I mean, he's...
Or 4 years younger, I mean.
Yeah.
Because the first X-Men's 2000, so...
Well, maybe his mom was a fan. Maybe she was going to Australia and going to see a lot of like dinner theater. Just getting jacked by that Jackman, you know?
He might have been on Broadway before.
No, not on Broadway.
God, dinner theater. Were you saying getting jacked by Jackman on the DL?
Yes.
Oh, good God.
I'm into the slang of the youth, Garrett.
That's none of the things you said or things people say or ever said. It's not even dated. It's just not a thing.
Oh, well, Garrett, this appears to be a song about how Jackman's fuck style is defiantly, proudly, just simply not buck wild.
No, proudly is the right way to say it. Before we get into the content, I want to call out one thing about this song, and that's the sample.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah, that's the Cadillac Dale. First of all, Cadillac Dale, excellent rap name.
Absolutely. One of the best rapping names I've ever heard.
Yeah, but this is the main, it goes repeatedly throughout the song. It begins the song. It's the, I don't like no whips and chains, and you can't tie me down, but you can whip your lovin' on me, baby. Whip your lovin' on me, baby.
You can whip your lovin' on me. Yeah, it's catchy.
Right.
And that part, I quite frankly, I like it. I went and I listened to Cadillac Dale. I was like, you know what? Not bad, Dale. Not bad.
I think he preferred Caddy, but all right.
Caddy D.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, but like the main hook, right? It seems to be about how both Cadillac and the Jackman, by extension, they don't have that buck wild fuck style. They're vanilla boys. But I just, Garrett... That's what the first part of this is, right?
Yes.
What about the you can whip your lovin' on me?
That's one of two things. It is either a very innocent, the only whip I'm interested in is you whipping your loving on me, which is, just affection. The other is a euphemism for, well,
right.
putting that thing down.
You can squirt your love on me, squirt it on my face, just don't tie me down.
God.
When you do,
God.
And try
Good
to
God.
avoid
Did you
my
workshop
eyes.
the worst way to say this?
No, this just came
Because my
naturally.
notes say you can whip that pussy on me, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just abstain. But you're talking about squirting on people?
Slang?
My God.
Like I'm picturing he's saying, look, you remember that scene when Clarice Starling goes into
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Miggs?
Yeah, there you go.
You're talking about when Miggs flings his cum on Clarice
I'm
Starling?
gonna have to bleep several of what the words you said. I was being coy, but yes, I
had
was
Miggs
talking
swallow
about
his
that.
tongue last night. Good God.
Garrett, Genius Lyrics has a German translation for this whole song.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
So I think what they're saying is you can whip that pussy on me. Like, you can slap that thing down for sure. Whip that all over me. But you're talking about jizz and squirting. Not your thing. Ideally not my thing. Let's hope it's just you can whip me with your affection and love, which is just a stupid way of saying love me. But I think it's
I don't
probably
think
your
it ever
gross thing.
has been.
Yeah, probably not. Let's continue. This is where Jack really kicks in. He says, I'm vanilla baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer baby. She 28 telling me I'm still a baby. And let's pause right there. And through this whole thing, we've got that whole I don't like no whips and chains and you can't tie me down. It's catchy. And so he states it right up front. I'm vanilla. And I was like, oh yeah, you are a very white man. But that's not what he's saying. We learn he is saying, I like my sexual intercourse straightforward, very predictable, and most importantly, boring.
Yes. Now he's willing to try, right?
Sure, if you need to be choked to climax, he'll do that.
Yes.
He's not going to be into it.
Right.
And he's not going to, get carried away with it.
Sure, he's not going to choke you to death if that's what you're into. That's
Sure,
one
and
step too
listeners, I can say this confidently, Tim. You stop me if I step over the line, but I feel confident in saying when you're with your partner, don't choke them to death.
far. No, unless that's what they're into and you've got some sort of consent thing going on.
I have done some reading, and I don't think that holds up in court.
What if there's some signed paperwork?
Listen, if it's notarized, you're a one legal beagle. But
All right.
I mean,
It
good
is
luck getting a
difficult,
notary
yeah,
to do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
hatePodMail@gmail.com. Tim and I, both notaries.
Yeah, that's true. But those notaries tend to be a bit squeamish. But this is apparently true. According to People magazine, this guy is only into the missionary position, which he refers to as, quote unquote, the best and, quote unquote, as good as it gets. Now, upsettingly, do you know where he got the name Missionary Jack?
I thought it was based on his love of the missionary position.
Well, I should hope not, Garrett, because he got it at the age of 2 when his grandmama gave it to him.
Then probably not the thing I thought. Maybe he was just a very serious baby.
Perhaps. Perhaps he was always going around to spread the good news of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the one true Lord.
Stop that. I literally thought one of his nicknames was Mr. Missionary, which is honestly kind of awesome, but in practice, probably not so great.
It's pretty great if you were like an international assassin, right? Like the missionary landed on our shores last night. Jesus Christ. The country will fall tonight.
For everyone you murder, you leave a business card, but it says Mr. Missionary, like you're some sort of like children's instructor. Today, kids, we're going to talk about crosswind.
Or you leave a little pamphlet about why doggy style or cowgirl is of the devil.
Yeah, okay, now that is interesting.
It's
Let's break it down for
Garrett. You know this.
Wow. Wow.
In the eyes of the Lord, it's not actually unclean. Or, well, I mean, they're all unclean.
He'd prefer nobody did it. Technically, it's all sinning, but it's a bit of a catch-22. Don't bother. No, now listeners, I'm legit curious, and Mr. Harlow's opened this can of worms, so we're going to just pour them all over the show. hatePodMail@gmail.com if you have insights. First of all, can a fuck style be buck wild if it is pure missionary?
I'm sure you could do other weird stuff during, sure.
Doesn't have to be weird. It's just variety.
It does. Well, that's not wild. Variety is not necessarily wild.
Yeah, but if you're able to kind of put it all together like a bit of a sexual symphony.
Sure, it's the package. Sure.
Yeah, there we go. Love this. So listeners, first question, sure. Can a pure missionary situation be considered a buck wild fuck style? I'm sure there's probably people out there that can only climax in the missionary position. I don't know why, but there's all sorts of weird shit out there. Conversely, am I or are we making a crazy assumption? Is it not about the position? Are people not really changing it up? I think variety is the spice of life. And of course, I have multiple certificates declaring by the state, notarized, that my fuck style is in fact buck wild. That's not me saying that. That's a state auditor. But perhaps that's just my personal experience. But Tim, I put it to you first, and of course our listeners, hatePodMail@gmail.com. Variety. We're all on largely the same page there, right?
Yes, for the most part, I think so.
Okay, yeah. Without getting too specific or gross, yeah. If you had met a Mr. Missionary, so to speak, and he wasn't an assassin, that would get really boring, I would think.
Maybe it's ironic because he hates the missionary position, or like there's something physiologically or anatomically wrong with him where he can't do it. And so this whole thing is just a
only
bit.
Do it.
Maybe. Perhaps like his legs, they bend backward like a dog's knees, and it just prevents.
Maybe he didn't have a lot of friends in middle school, and so he just missed that part of puberty where like little boys exchange every dirty word they've ever learned, and so he never learned them, so he doesn't know the other positions, but he's like too old to ask.
Oh, we should tell him about the internet.
Well, sure, but how do you Google something you don't know the name of? I guess you could just Google other sexual positions. Maybe he's too embarrassed. I don't know. Jack Harlow, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. We will not reveal your name.
Did leave his contact information. We could just send this to him anonymously. We could spam him with a bunch of pornography.
Yeah, I was going to say, better yet, let's not confuse him. Let's just send him pornography. Let him figure it out.
Now, what if he thinks we're hitting on him?
Gina, I know, I'm way ahead of you. Gina, could you put together a really tasteful porno gift bag? Do summer sausage, a bottle of wine, those little crackers, not the shitty ones, the buttery ones. And then just a wild cornucopia of pornography in all formats, printed, digital. Get them a Pornhub account. Is that what the kids use? Usually a Pornhub account. Yeah, I know, right? Who's logging into that? Get him a free gift card. I don't know. Does it cost money? But the sausage too. That's just good. We need to get rid of it. Okay. See? That he's not going to misinterpret that at all.
Okay.
You seem skeptical, but I don't have time to argue. It's out the door. Shred it and burn it.
All right.
Okay.
We did make sure you put both of our names on it, right?
Absolutely, we're both on there.
Okay.
Yeah. And dear Jack,
now, do you think he sent it from our stash of straight pornography or the gay stuff?
I was unaware of some of I was unaware there were two piles. Interesting.
Gino's got a whole bit. It doesn't matter. I'm going to assume he did this correctly.
I'll assume. But the card says, Dear Jack, thought you could use some of these. Enjoy the sausage. Love, Tim and Garrett.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he could possibly misinterpret that.
Fantastic. fantastic. Back to this 28 telling me I'm still a baby. It might be a reference to him dating Dua Lipa, who was a bit older than him at the time, but who could know and who could care? Song continues. I get love in Detroit like Skilla Baby, and the thing about your boy is, I don't like no whips and chains, and you can't tie me down, but you can whip your lovin' on me. Baby, whip your lovin' on me. So Skilla Baby is in fact a Detroit rapper, best known for his addition to the 2023 remix of T Grizzly's Gorgeous, a song I've never heard by a person I've never heard of.
Excellent addition.
Well, that might mean something to our listeners. It sure doesn't to me. And this is where the song gets better for me. This is technically Jack Harlow's first true verse, I believe. Young Jack, aka Rico like Suave, young Enrique. Pause. Don't love the spelling. I love the Rico Suave reference, because that is a song by a band called Gerardo that no one's thought of in 30 years. And Tim, this is where I must bring to you my thesis for Mr. Jackman Harlow. He is, and I mean this to be a fact, a 55-year-old man.
That's very possible.
All of his references are quite old, including the hook to this song that was not even popular, but just known of in 1995, and not by the cool kids in 1995, but by the slightly older R&B fanatics. So that puts him at conservatively 30 in 1995, and given that it's 2025, that's the sort of math you could do on the back of an envelope.
I like this theory. It is possible. Perhaps he's got some sort of situation like me. There's some sort of amulet or painting situation that prevents him from aging.
Yeah. Now, Tim, do you think at a certain point that's going to become a curse?
Well, I mean, if the amulet is shattered, I will begin aging very rapidly like the end of an Indiana Jones film.
Well, it's kind of nice to know that you have a break in case of emergency. I meant as your friends and loved ones die around you and the world becomes some inexplicable nightmare you barely recognize, perhaps you could find yourself in a situation where you're praying to age and die.
Perhaps. I assume that I will play this like Apocalypse from that X-Men TV show you love so much and just sort of
brick yourself up in a tomb for 100 or so years until somebody uncovers you.
Rule every once in a while.
God, they really blew that movie.
Yeah. I did like it at the very beginning where he made that man become part of that wall.
Best part of the film. It legitimately scared me.
Yeah, you did shout.
I had never considered being put into a wall.
Really? Your father constantly said, I will put you into that wall.
Through a wall. God damn it.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Put you through that fucking wall. Yeah, that was his go-to.
Yeah.
That's his go-to. In his defense, he didn't.
That's true, but he could have.
Yeah, and I was fast. Back to this song, I suppose. Speaking of AKA, she's an alpha, but not around your boy. She gets quiet around your boy. Hold on. Shh. Don't know what you heard or what you thought about your boy, but they lied about your boy. Going numb, and it's something idiotic about your boy. She wearing cheetah print. That's how bad she want to be spotted around your boy.
Clever wordplay, I guess.
I mean, I did it no justice with my reading, but neither did he in my defense.
No, it's the way he keeps saying boy threatens my sanity. It just keeps popping up and you're like, why do you keep saying boy? This doesn't count as rhyming.
No, it's not the same to use the same word. It's a different thing entirely. It has a name. I don't remember it. Sorry, Mrs. Robinson, my 6th grade English teacher. She'd be disappointed. No, I will say this. Here's my interp saying that now. He's saying you got a badass lady and she's into me. And that's why she gets quiet and starts wearing loud pants so that I'll check out her curves and general reproductive areas and fantasize about being in them.
Pretty hot. But to be clear, in the most vanilla way possible.
Oh, sure. Well, it's going to be full eye contact, that's for sure. Face to face.
Right.
There's probably going to be a time limit. He might, you know what, Tim, he might not even want to move. We might be in the missionary position, just doing a full soak.
That's unsettling.
Ugh. Are you enjoying this? Not really.
Less so now that you've asked. Young MISSIONARY, you sharp like barbed wire. She stole my heart, then she got archived. I keep it short with a bitch, Lord Farquaad. More spelling for some goddamn reason. Why, Garrett, why did his grandmama name him Missionary Jack? It really bothers me.
It's a good question. It might have been for his youthful proselytizing.
Perhaps. I think Lord Farquaad is the first Shrek reference we've had since that goddamn Smash Mouth Mouth album, which technically isn't a Shrek reference. But this, again, that is a reference for somebody my age or older.
Right.
Right? Like, Shrek is a children's movie, but it's a children's movie from when he was 2, allegedly. I think your story is playing out. Because even the young references imply that he's 10 to 15 years older than he actually is.
Yeah, Jack Harlow, 55-year-old man. That would explain why he looks the way he does.
Haggard?
Thinning beard, sunken eyes, perm to try to hide his whatever's going on up there.
You think he's got a perm?
I think so.
It's sometimes hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, that could just be his hair.
Yeah. You remember when you accused in college of having a perm? Because he definitely didn't, but it almost broke him. Like, I thought he was going to shave his head, because he like, I will never be able to convince anyone, now that you've said that I don't have a goddamn perm.
There were so many, like, really fucked up psychological things I did to people in college. That was definitely one.
But you just said it. You said it so casually, and then just left, and just it tortured him psychologically for like months. It was amazing. I had he was probably like 6'6", maybe slightly taller than that even.
Big dude.
And gigantic. Could not miss him. Like, you could see this guy from anywhere, like on the UT campus. And I drove the tiny stupid Mustang in college, and I like to fuck with this guy as well, because despite his size, he could not do anything about anything. So I one day I saw him walking home from class. I pulled up next to him, and because I thought it would be funny, tiny car, giant, scary looking man, I leaned out of my window and I said, "You want some candy, little boy? Get in the car. I'll give you some candy." And it wasn't him. It was just a guy that was as big as him, which is a problem. And so I drove away.
Yeah, I'd like some candy.
Oh, God.
I remember when you did this, you were just like, "Oh, well, fuck me."
Gonna have to fucking burn these license plates again. Goddamn Austin PD.
All right, let's wrap up the song here with a little something just for those live shows. He says, "All the girls in the front row, ayy. All the girls at the barricade, ayy. All the girls that been waiting all day. Let your tongue hang out. Fuck everything, ayy. If you came with a man, let go of his hand. Everybody in the suite kicking up their feet. Stand up, bitch, and dance." I think that these are lyrics designed entirely for when he performs this live, so that he can basically hit on every woman in the venue and then make his selection after the fact. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, Tim. We have done this song a disjustice.
Disjustice?
That's not a word, is it? An injustice. That's what I wanted to say. We have done this song an injustice in that I did not address "She Stole My Heart, Then She Got Archived. I keep it short with a bitch, Lord Farquaad." Again, not rhyming, but that's okay. Not my point. We're past that. Not only is he terrible at intercourse, he has no interest in a relationship. Well, this is lose-lose.
Well, it's lose-lose for them. But you see, he gets to have the terrible intercourse that he enjoys, and then that's it.
Man, I really think that this is all like getting all the insults out before anybody else can, so that like you can protect yourself.
Right, like something that
I'm
people
really bad at
do.
sex, and I'm emotionally manipulative, and I'm not interested in a long-term relationship. Let's fuck. No.
Right. This is the thing that people would do around you in college, because otherwise you would hurt them and their feelings.
Really not enjoying the theme of today's show. Yes, I was a bad man. To be fair, half of them deserved it.
I would say almost all of them deserved it. Our friends were terrible people.
I remain on the fence regarding Jugs.
You named it Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
To be fair, I did not come up with that name. That was because he was blackout drunk and he put his initials into the Topgolf.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he goes, JGS, Jugs.
I like that he's like a shitty construction worker from Staten Island in this story.
Hey, how you doing, Jugs?
Not what he sounded like.
Let's see. Then we get anyway, I had to address that. Like, just what is this song? So anyway, he does the little call and response for all the ladies out there, and then he invites them all to come fuck him later.
Yes.
Then we get the chorus and an outro. The outro is basically just the pre-chorus, and that brings us to the end of the song. Alrighty, Tim, that brings us to the Muzak video, and I gotta say, before we get into the details, disappointing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's this music video is as vanilla as his sexual intercourse.
Yeah, that is to say, quite. So we'll just kick it off. Stop me if I miss anything, or if you want to add a bit, I'll just set up the scaffolding. We've touched on how this man looks, and he is the star of this music video, but let's just, in case anyone's never seen him, this dude has tight curly hair, which there's nothing wrong with that. I assumed it was a perm, as is the style of the time, and it seems like a thing maybe to distract from his face.
Yeah.
But he's also rocking a mullet.
Yep.
He's like a poor man's Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like a Eric Andre character version of Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah. It's gross.
He looks like a character from the Righteous Gemstones. Like,
yes.
he looks like a Christian rapist that would be at their church service and would be friends with the fucking Adam Devine character.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like. That's also now all I want.
Yeah, but he also does look like the fucking goat man from SNL or whatever that you...
Yeah, let's get to the facial hair. Because, as a member of the National Senate of Beards, I take a lot of offense at his facial hair.
And you should.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, this is why I don't have a beard.
God, but I want to see it so bad. I've seen the stash. I've never seen you with like a full...
You know what really
month.
bothers me about my mustache is I can grow it for about a month and it gets pretty full. It's not super full, but it's like 48% blonde. It's like, I don't have blonde hair. Where did that come from? It's like your stupid red beard.
Yeah, I can't throw stones. I have a fucking bright red beard. Although there's a lot of gray in it.
Bright red. Let's not pretend you got a bright red beard. That would be fucking funny though.
It's red. It's startling given how dark my hair is. But it's a lot more gray these days. And anyway, it's enough about my facial hair. But back to this guy's disgusting thing. It looks like somebody glued hair onto his face and was like, he has a beard, shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at. That's your sex symbol for this. And the whole music video, and we'll get into the details, but the whole thing is him just singing to camera.
Yeah.
He's in a completely empty white room, rapping to camera, dressed in what I call Adam Sandler couture sweatpants, or something equally as strange or awful looking.
Yeah, he's got the ironic dress kind of thing going on throughout here, and he's some friends also dance occasionally. Some girls dance or put on makeup while looking at the camera.
Yeah, we go to like a window box format where we got Jack on one side and then some random folks on the other doing exactly what Tim said. Occasionally there's a very sexy woman dancing, other ladies putting on lipstick, and then we kind of just go rapid fire with different outfits, different people. Now Jack's in one window, now he's in the other, now he's standing, now he's rapping. It's always to camera though, always twirling. No, yeah, always singing to camera. And then we see a curvaceous woman in a cheetah bodysuit for a moment, as is the style of the music, or the style of the lyrics, and that's pretty cool. Then Jack sings to a tiny dog for a moment, which I'm also pretty into, and it's largely that on repeat. It's very boring, and he would have been put in a trash can at my school if he looked the way he does.
Yes, but your school was quite mean to,
everyone. Yes, it was cutthroat.
Yes.
Did I leave anything out, Tim? Any other
nothing
hot
important.
call-outs? Fantastic. That brings us to How Did It Do? How did it do?
This was a #1 single on the US Billboard Hot 100, as well as Australia, Canada, Latvia, Lithuania, New Zealand, the UK, and on the Billboard Global 200. It only made it to #4 on the Swiss Schweizer Hit Parade, #7 on the Swedish Sverigetoplisten, #6 in the Dutch, and #18 in that all-important market of Kazakhstan. It was the 5th best-selling song in the US in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, He from whom all blessings flow, 2024. Not sure how many units this sold, but in the millions worldwide, probably in the millions just within the US.
God damn it. Also, we talked about scaling back the Jesus talk. It's less, but it's way more flowery.
Well, look, in terms of sheer minutes on this show, it's less. And that's what I agreed to.
Yeah, that's true. But when you do bring it up, it's getting like way more Old Testament. I'm not comfortable.
That's fair.
At all. Although I guess you are talking explicitly about Jesus, but the way you're doing it is creepy.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Just don't. That's how it did. What did people think of it?
Well, there are allegedly 2 Amazon reviews, but there's a 2.8 out of 5 stars on average, 26% 5-star, 74% 2-star, and none of that maths correctly. So I'm not sure how that works. None of them are interesting though, so I went to YouTube.
Oh boy.
Alexis Aller G4I 1 year ago, as a night shift nurse, thank you. This will be on repeat all night for probably the rest of time.
Oh. Linda, anything else? Please.
Yes. Rip Sal from 1 year ago. Jack Harlow has changed my life forever. I'm 52, father of 3, and his music has improved my mental and physical state immensely. Thank you, Mr. Harlow. Thank you.
Physical state?
I don't know. Listen, if you are 52 and the father of 3 and Mr. Harlow is able to affect your life in either direction, seek professional help.
Yeah, that's a good point. But if he has cured you of a physical ailment, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. I couldn't walk before I heard Lovin on me. Really?
Jonette Gay, W1T, God bless you, Jack. I've been praying every day for you. Don't let nothing hold you back. You have infinite potential. There has never been a moment gone by that God has not thought of you. You make his heart light up. I love you also. God bless you. XO.
And God, just watch out for that Jacqueline Harlow. Like, what?
There were a number of people that had comments saying that they were praying he did not fall prey to some sort of Diddy situation. And I get it. I get that.
Insidious. 1 minute you're a #1 selling R&B artist. The next minute you're in the middle of some sort of gay bacchanalia at Diddy's house.
The next minute Diddy is eating caviar out of your navel. Oh, it's so horrible.
Just looks up. You ever hear that Godzilla song I made? Oh, God, I want to die.
I have. Can we watch that movie instead of what you're going to do to me? Jesus Christ, I love that movie. And I hate what you're going to do to me.
Again, I got to be really clear. I hate this, but I love that movie.
Yes.
What if we watch it while I do my thing? Is that going to make this better or ruin Godzilla?
Oh, is that Carl Winslow?
Oh, no. That's where I really got furious. These rumors are out of control.
Yeah.
You leave Carl Winslow out of your mouth.
Yeah, Reginald Vell Johnson's a goddamn national treasure. W.S. Juliet 1 month ago. Just discovered this song. I know, I'm super late. But this song screams 50 Shades of Grey vibes. Anyone who's read it might draw interesting parallels like me. No, it doesn't.
It's the opposite, in fact.
Yeah. Rockin' Ronnie 1335 1 month ago. Wow. It's gotta be so awesome to work through life. As a troubadour, you can tell it all through your art. How therapeutic. Hugs to him. I too had a crappy relationship with my mom. A single mom who struggled with keeping me, most obviously. Had so many mixed emotions after she passed, but I know when I see her again that it's not gonna be like that anymore. It will be only love, like it was supposed to be. No pain. God, let your kingdom come soon. Resurrection Day is gonna be epic.
That got so terrifying. There's so much in there, though. She wrestled with keeping me?
Yeah.
Did he say that? So, like, at some point, his mother turned to him and was like, Jordan, there's something I want to tell you. I always wrestled with whether or not to keep the pregnancy.
Or possibly the child after born.
Well, no, I'm not done.
Oh.
And I still question the decision I made to this day. I'm alive.
Right. And then, Garrett, it veers into zombie territory.
Resurrection Day. Good God, it's gonna be epic. Good Lord.
Oh, Garrett, there are so more of these. I can't. I gotta keep doing these. Julianne Albuzababy 253 9 months ago.
Can't be right.
Congratulations. 6 years ago, I was at the end of being 12 years deep in an H addiction from hell. Homeless.
Whoa.
Living on the streets. Sleeping in the woods. I am now 6 years clean. Married with a 4-year-old son. My daughter back in my life. With my own place. So many songs to this day bring me back to those days. I hear him, and it's like I'm right back there. That is no longer my life, thank God. Congratulations again. Great job, and keep going.
Wait.
I think...
So does this remind her of the bad times?
I think so, because that's the only thing that's the only musical reference in this. This song reminds me of those days that I was on H. I mean, I'm glad I'm not there anymore, but God, I love H.
Yeah, and since I can't do H, and I would never do it again, but I can hear this song and nobody can tell me to stop.
Yes.
I always listen.
Gus Jin living my 360-degree 9 1 year ago. That's the name.
My 360-degree 9?
Yes.
What is the 9?
I don't know, Garrett. Perhaps maybe Gustin living my 360-degree had already been taken 8 times.
I see.
Jack, we Louis Villains are so proud of you. I taught for 27 years. I wish you were in my class. Keep up the amazing work.
What? God, I could really teach a kid like that. Gerald, if you keep saying things like that, I'm going to have to report you. No, I'm just saying, you know how supple his fucking mind must be? Again, I'm super uncomfortable with everything you're saying. This is a PTA meeting.
Galaxia Knight 666 from 2 months ago. Long shot. Anyone know the name of that girl at 202?
Creepo.
Yes. One more in a reply. This is by Zal Perro from 1 year ago. As a fellow vanilla, I suddenly feel empowered to come out of the non-kink closet. Thank you for that. Catfight 11. It's so refreshing after all these years of this vampire BDSM nonsense. It sure was time to turn back.
Wait, that's the full comment.
Well, that's the comment in the reply, yes.
Right. It's finally... Vampire listeners, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. Are you guys into vampire play?
I mean, at least one of them is. We have a large enough audience that I can guarantee you there's at least some sort of bloodsucker here.
And listener, write in and we'll share only as much as you tell us to, and we'll keep it anonymous. I'm legitimately asking, what makes it vampire-y? And don't write in if you just Googled it.
No, I think at the moment...
first-hand experience.
That's scary part at the end, one of them bites the other's neck and just,
That's scary part at the end. I forgot you do not know how orgasming works. So terrified every time.
Yes.
Gross. Okay. Amazing reviews, Tim. Too many, in fact.
Got
all
more.
with a very strange theme. No, please don't read any more. Although, I'm finding them very funny. That brings us to, who is this for?
Proud prudes. Fellow vanillas.
Fellow vanillas. That's like a half a step above an incel.
Yeah, it's also for people that don't do H anymore but kind of want to. For people whose moms kept telling them that they were not...
A mistake?
Yeah, and they're maybe hoping the positive outcome would be zombies.
Resurrection Day. Is that a thing?
I don't know. No, they said Resurrected Day, but I do believe Resurrection Day is probably what they were going for.
But all the zombies just fly up into heaven, right?
I don't know, Garrett. That is news to me. I did not realize there would be zombies flying and zipping. I mean, I guess I'll probably be one of those, given my shoes and Jesus connection.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not going to heaven.
That is the meanest thing you have ever said to me. What do you mean?
There's no way that's true.
What do you mean?
I'm sure I can think of 3 meaner things I've said.
No, not that. I'm past that already. What do you mean I'm not going to heaven?
You, because of your words and actions, should not go to heaven.
Should not.
I will not be a character witness for St. Peter. No, here's the damnable thing. You mean well.
Right.
You do. But you do wrong.
I mean, this is giving me a lot to think about.
It's not too late.
Everyone thought I was going to heaven. It's kind of basing a large part of my personality on people just assuming I was going to heaven.
Now, quite frankly, it's the first and only thing I've ever bonded with the interns over. It's just sort of a running gag how you're so blind to the fact that your words and actions have such negative outcomes towards others. It's wild. We thought you were joking at first, and then it became weird, so we stopped mentioning it entirely.
Okay.
I wouldn't call you apoplectic right now, but I wouldn't disagree if someone did. Okay, that brings us to final thoughts. Tim's general demeanor is I don't even want to be here today, so I'm afraid to ask it. Any final thoughts, Tim?
No, my stomach hurts a lot, though.
the guilt. That's the guilt and recognition of the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Man, I didn't have any of this in my notes. What a great app. Great app. Sometimes you just find it.
So you're saying there's a scenario in which you could have had tell Tim he's not going to heaven already in your notes ahead of time?
If it was pertinent to the song, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I prepare.
Do you have final thoughts?
As we've talked about this, I'm less impressed with the song.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
But I do appreciate that it's different enough from the other rapists of his generation that I can appreciate his own version of this.
Yeah, this is just some dipshit having fun, right?
Yeah, and the song he chose to sample is as random as it gets.
Yeah, but it fits him so well.
Well, that's because he's 55.
Fair enough.
I hope for his sake he is, because he does not have the pallor of a 26-year-old man.
Did you say the power?
Pallor.
Oh, that would have been weird.
He looks sick.
He does. He does. He does not have the power of a 28-year-old man.
You know what he looks like? He looks like somebody who has not yet rejected a donated organ, but will within the next 12 hours.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like there's something brewing on the immune system right under the surface there.
Right. Is there something like a pre-jaundice? Is there a pre-jaundice?
I mean,
PJ?
I think it's just, well, I don't know.
If there is, it's his face.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's probably something we will learn in the coming weeks and months with Gino. So let's just keep an eye out for him.
I would not be surprised to learn, if you look in a medical textbook, there is something known as the Jackman-Harlow syndrome.
That's true. But it's hyphenated because it's two guys' names. It's just a coincidence that he also definitely has that disease.
Maybe somebody misheard a diagnosis within the obstetrician's office. So when he was born, right, somebody heard that diagnosis, thought it was his name, put it on his birth certificate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He isn't Jackman-Harlow. He has Jackman-Harlow.
All right.
My apologies. I should have just said that. Okay, Tim, let's keep going. Do you hate this song?
I don't, no. But I kind of met it. It's not interesting. It's not for me, and I will probably never listen to it again. What about you, friend? Do you hate this?
Right back at you, although I will give a shout out to Mr. Cadillac Dale. C-Dizzle, you do your thing.
Yeah, great name. Have you seen pictures of him?
Yeah, he's a real Cadillac Dale.
Yeah, he that name fits him so well.
Love it when that happens. Okie dokie, Tim, that brings us to listener emails. You want to go first or should I?
I'd like it, I think, if you went first this week.
Okay, Tim, my email's from Franklin. His email is titled, Want to Make Your Funeral Fun?
I do. Wait.
And I have no idea what this email's about.
I bet it's going to be much less fun than you're imagining.
I saw that title and was like, dibs. I immediately deleted it after I copied it down.
Smart.
Yes. So, Franklin writes, Dear Scooter and the Beef. Excellent beginning. I took some time at work the other day to do some new research. Did you know that as long as you give them some heads up that you'd have to book it as a birthday party, as this company has no memorial or funeral booking line, but you can have your memorial/funeral done at none other than Chuck E. Cheese.
Ooh.
That's fascinating. Now, we'll keep reading in just a moment. I want to know, nay, must know, what's the coffin policy? Because if I can't have that coffin in there, what's the point?
Well, perhaps you could just put my corpse inside of an animatronic thing and just let it move me about.
You're right. I was being closed-minded. Let me rephrase. If I can't get the corpse in the Chuck E. Cheese, it's no dice for me.
Oh, sure. You're going to want to get that corpse in there. Absolutely.
Yeah. I prefer a coffin, but I like your Rock-afire explosion version.
Yes. Now, definitely you will die before me, without question.
Well, I want to see the math.
Okay.
Show me the Carfax. You can't.
I mean, no, but just look at the two of us. You've got some sort of Jackman-Harlow situation going on.
Oh, come on,
you
man.
covered with a better beard. No one's saying that, but, pre-jaundice.
It's MS.
It is MS. Oh, God.
Anyway, back to this lovely email about Chuck E. Cheese. You can book and decorate it how you want. Imagine the possibilities. Chuck in a Windows outfit with the black veil. Have the people in suits be the pallbearers. I did contact their corporate office to ask and to confirm. Side note, probably fucked up some lady's day making her think a child died, which they do, so what?
Franklin, firing on all cylinders here.
Any hooser, oh boy. I'm not gonna read that sentence. Yikes. Any
Just read
hooser,
it to me and we'll bleep it or something in post.
Yeah, we'll do something. Any hooser, I'm gonna my off at 35 and have an adult funeral at Chuck E. Cheese.
Jesus Christ.
It was going to be 55, but let's face it, that company will be long gone, so gotta hurry it up.
Oh my God. This email got less fun.
Yeah, we're probably going to bleep that whole sentence. Franklin, you know why. Jesus Christ, man. We were having a great time. And please, you better be joking. We assume you're joking. If you're not joking, let us know, because that's not cool. Anyway, P.S. Garrett and Batman, you're both invited to my Chuck E. Cheese funeral. That's awesome. There will be unlimited free pizza tokens and an open bar. They do have beer. Let's see.
What about Tim? What about Tim?
I don't know. He says gotta have
loves
open bar.
Pizza and I love theater.
Well, getting to you. There will be unlimited free pizza tokens and an open bar included. Gotta have that Irish pride, baby, which is true. Would love for you two to come. Don't bring Tim.
Oh, come on. Franklin.
But you can bring Tom B. Rady and do a segment of Gary and the Goat. I'm a huge fan and can't wait for it to drop. Incredible.
Rude. This is a rude email.
Well, luckily, Franklin's going to outlive me and Tim, so it doesn't matter. Well, apparently, at least me. Can't speak for Tim. Listen, you're not allowed to kill me unless I ask you to.
Oh, I know.
You're not allowed to create the circumstances in which I ask you to end my life.
We'll see.
You signed the contract.
Listen, you can only live with leprosy for so long before you'll sign that contract.
Don't give me leprosy.
Don't contract leprosy.
I just love squirrels. Okay. Tim, what's your email?
Well,
Is
Garrett,
it nearly as fucked up?
It's not. I have some serious business that we need to discuss.
Oh, I don't love that.
From Eric called Podcast Intro Music. Hey, Tim and Garrett. Nope.
All right, let's do business.
I wanted to reach out and ask about the intro song. If you haven't already picked someone to do it, I front a band called The Accountant and All Thumbs. It's a weird band name.
Is it based on our show?
Maybe. If it was based on our show, I assume it would be called Garrett Harvey and the New American Hitlers or something fun like that.
Good Lord, it would not be called that. We will be bleeping all of that.
No, we won't. That is a great band name.
We will definitely bleep the fucking half where you... God damn you. Why would it be called that?
That's a great band name.
Well, you'd be Tim and the Child Murderers.
That's better than what I said.
It is better.
Anyway, I would think we could take a crack at it. I have a couple of questions before I start working on anything, but I would definitely be happy to do it. I would love if you could kick me some money for the work, but honestly, your podcast has brought me a lot of joy over the years. I started listening as a freshman year of college, and I'm now rounding out my senior year, and I would be happy to do it for free, just as long as you do me the favor of plugging the band, which we have done, and also given you a better band name, if you'd like.
You owe us a song now.
No, I like The Accountant and All Thumbs. I assume all of the players only have thumbs, so they're either clumsy or just mutants.
I think it's ironic. Yeah, okay, so what do we got to do for this?
Well, he's got some questions. He said, would you like to keep the old lyrics? If not, would you like to approve new lyrics before the track is recorded? Garrett, what do you think?
Okay, I'm inclined to say new lyrics. I'm also happy if it's easier / your preference to keep the current lyrics. I don't think we need to approve new lyrics. However, you need to know going into this that if we don't like it, we will say, hey, we don't really like it, and we're not going to make it the theme song. That's a thing that I will say to you because this is my show.
Yes, and to be clear, it will be Garrett saying that because I will feel bad.
Yeah. And listen, it's nothing personal. You're a professional. You get it. And it's not saying you're bad. If I don't like it, it's just I don't like it.
Yeah.
So knowing that, here's the thing though. If you're any good, and listen, you know if you're any good. If you think you can do a good job, I would fucking love it. Please do so.
I think you can use our outro song as sort of a guide, right? It plays on the same theme and expands it a little bit. I think that works.
Yeah. I mean, feel free to quote us, sample us, anything that is going to make your job easier. I invite it. And listen, I appreciate you taking on the task. I think it is rude for us to not tell you up front, like, we'll play it on the show regardless, because you took the time, you made the effort. But if it's not quite up to snuff, I like our opening music. I love our closing music too. Closing music's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
We have a second version that we never put on there that's even better.
It's the more electric, or
it's like sped up.
Yeah.
I love that version.
Okay, more questions. Do you have any strong opinions on instrumentation / genre? He is a sound recording technology major and in a good position to record any instruments we may need. He envisions a rock band, but if you wouldn't want strings or winds or bleepy blorpy synths, just let me know.
Timpani.
Yes. I kind of like the idea of having it it sort of a jingle. Like, the problem with it being too much in any genre is that we would probably use it when we, like the punk theme or the ska theme or the After Dark theme, probably use it more for when we do albums of that nature.
Yeah, I don't know. It sort of depends. I'm not married to the idea of it being one thing or another, but yeah, here's what I will say. It shouldn't be too long. I can't stand a long intro.
Next question, Garrett. What is the desired length?
How long is our current one? Like 20 seconds?
Something like that.
Around that.
Yeah.
No longer.
I've scored films before. I can definitely get the length you want. I can do a short version or a long version if needed.
You seem very talented. Jesus Christ. Honestly, they sound like they're like very professional. Do you, man? Sounds like you know what the fuck you're up to. So just not too long. I would say over 30 seconds is too much. It's fun if you want to do a long version because you think it'll entertain us and you enjoy doing this. Like, we'll play the fuck out of it and we will give you all the praise on the planet. But I'm not going to play a minute-long intro before every fucking episode. Yeah. That's crazy.
And if we really love it, we will toss you a couple bucks.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
how much.
Or in fact, if you want to send us a draft and you're like, something like this, it's not done, let's talk money, we're very reasonable and we will pay you money.
Yeah.
But we're not going to just give you money blindly. We did that with one guy. Remember our first intro we never shared with anyone?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was just like a guitar thing.
They hate the album. It was really bad. It was really bad.
You know, honestly,
and you were like, yeah,
hey,
it's an intro.
Eric, I think we just recorded our intro right there because that's fucking great. But yes, so he has he also gives us their phone number, which I will not read here, and also you should probably take away from me to avoid any J-Devil incidents. He also gave us a link to the band Spotify. He scored several films. Yes, and again, that is The Accountant and All Thumbs. We will definitely talk about your band. Well, not talk about your band. We'll definitely,
promote it
and possibly give you money. Sure. I think Garrett is on board.
Yeah, I was never not on board.
Okay. I think that Garrett was not going to read the email, and now I read him the email.
Shabang.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Yeah, good job, Eric. Okay, great email, Tim. Way to get business done on the listener's time. That brings us to music news of the weird. Would you like to go first or should I?
Well, based on that last compliment, I will go first.
Music news of the weird.
If you have been talking to Alan Jackson online, and particularly if you've been sending Alan Jackson gift cards, you have not been news this week. Alan Jackson is not interested in talking to his fans, and he does not need them to send him money. He has enough money. He's doing fine. You see, Garrett,
stupider people.
Alan Jackson's manager got in touch with a 76-year-old woman, and then Alan himself contacted her to let her know that he was going through a very messy divorce. His assets were frozen, and he needed money to pay the bills, particularly in the form of about $3,000 worth of Apple gift cards. Now, this lady was bragging about her relationship with Alan Eugene Jackson on Facebook, and that's when her friends saw and got worried and contacted authorities on her behalf and against her will.
Those are good friends.
Yes. Apparently, though, she is not the only one Alan Jackson is scamming, though, because I went down a rabbit hole on various internet boards frequented by the elderly and stupid, such as Quora. Are you familiar with Quora? As well as Facebook, and there's some on this, like the Nextdoor kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
There are just dozens of people asking things like, Alan Jackson needs money, and I'm happy to write him a personal check, but he says he only wants Amazon gift cards, and I don't know how to gift gift cards for the whole jungle. What is happening? Just like, you're asking for advice on how to get scammed at this point, and it's
so amazing that people are so stupid.
Yeah. I think, though, it would be very fun if you're actually one of these mid-level celebrities to just try and solicit gift cards from your fans and such, like, because there's nothing illegal about asking for money or for gift cards on the internet, particularly if you are completely truthful, right? If you just start, if you're Alan Jackson and you just start contacting your fans on Facebook and say, like, hi, Alan Jackson here, happily married, but I've recently been diagnosed with Charcot-Marie tooth disease and the nerves in my legs are weird. Please send me Apple gift cards. Like, there's nothing illegal about that. Every bit of that is true.
Is it?
Yes.
That's a shame.
I'll be okay.
The nerves in my legs are weird. That's not a medical diagnosis.
Yeah, but it's crazy how much of this there is. There's a very fun documentary on Hulu about somebody catfishing all of Tegan and Sarah's fans that just Oh, it's maniacal. Why? I don't know why. Like, that one wasn't even for money. That was just for the sheer joy of somebody not knowing who you are, which I get. God. It's kind of a peeping situation, but
Sort of a digital peep.
yeah, exactly. Do you have any scam news, Garrett?
I don't think so. Well, no, I don't think I have any scam news. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm really just at a loss for how people get so easily scammed. I mean, okay. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. What level celebrity are we talking about here? Pauly Shore feel about right?
Yeah, that'd be
Would
great.
that's the appropriate
Yeah,
level?
'cause,
Like, hey, buddy, I could really use a $50 gift card
Yeah, and
to
'cause
Amazon.
he's the sort of celebrity, you have to hit that sweet spot where they're well enough known that you're going to be able to cast a wide net, but they kind of seem like they could have fallen on hard times. And I think Pauly Shore is right in that sweet spot.
David Faustino, Bud Bundy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he actually might be asking for money on the internet.
That is not hypothetical. I assume he's got residuals out the ears.
Why do you know his name?
Oh, I was a huge fan of that show as a child.
Right.
And I watched the credits for like 300 episodes.
You know, that is true. If you are not watching the credits, you're kind of stealing. It's like not watching commercials, you know?
That's a crazy take.
Garrett, do you have any different news?
Yeah. Tim, in Welcome to the Last Year of Humanity news, Roseanne Barr is making a bit of a career pivot, inspired by Donald Trump's return to the White House. She has debuted a new rap alter ego in a music video celebrating the new president. And in this music video, she has cool sunglasses, some leopard print pants. Her hair is braided down to her waist and blonde cornrows. And she raps alongside a Canadian, quote, rapper named Tom McDonald in a pro-Trump anthem called Daddy's Home. Yeah. Yeah. God, even if I agreed with them, I would just be like, this is still in poor taste.
To be clear, though, you don't, right?
Correct.
I just gotta check. Gotta keep checking, because it seems like he's wooing a lot of people. There's all those fucking tech douchebags. There's Snoop Dogg. There's... Ugh.
Yeah. No one's paying us large sums of money to sign up for the apocalypse.
Well, but the apocalypse is being foisted upon us. There's gonna be a resurrection day, Garrett.
Watch out for those zombies.
They're flying, apparently, straight to heaven.
I guess I was confusing that with the souls. I guess corpses don't go to heaven. God, what if you continued to deteriorate in heaven? It's just full of zombies.
Ugh.
I'm still blown away by the folks that think that there's like a capacity limit.
144,000, right?
Yeah, that's wild. Because at some point you're going to reach it.
Yeah,
And then what's the rest of humanity for?
Well, if you
One
go
in,
in,
one out.
somebody exactly.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, come on in. Hey, God, what's up? Let's have a talk for a minute. Remember last quarter when I said your angel wings were down a little? Yeah. Well, we're looking to make a change. Yeah, we're gonna send you on down to hell. We're gonna bring in some fresh eyes. We're letting you go. Letting me go? Yeah, we're gonna let you go to hell. Fuck. Yeah, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, we got the limit.
Yeah,
and,
but language
we're
like
seeing
that's
some
not helping.
Yeah, it's really not. Come on, guy. You're sort of building my case for me, and we're seeing some really cool stuff down on hell. I mean, you had to know we got to open up some spots for fresh eyes. You keep saying fresh eyes. We make wings.
No, biblically correct angels, Garrett. They got all sorts of eyes.
That's true. Gross.
Yes.
Okie dokie, Tim. What other weird news do you have?
In murder news, Garrett, we all know by now that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis has been charged with allegedly murdering Tupac Shakur and was arrested in 2023 with a trial date set for March 17th of this year. Now, there's a lot of evidence that he did it, including his confession, his other confession, the multiple descriptions he did or orchestrating the shooting, the documentary he did when he had a confession, and his 2019 memoir, which he now says are for entertainment purposes and to make money, but certainly aren't true. Any Hoozlebees, Dwayne's lawyers are claiming that he was granted immunity for his role in the homicide, which he confessed during the initial 2008 investigation. Garrett, that's true. He was granted immunity. The problem, though, is that it was with a very specific branch of law enforcement that doesn't necessarily apply to all branches of law enforcement, but it was nice because the Las Vegas police, they said that they had no role in offering him a deal, and they specifically never said they would not prosecute him. And back in 2009, when this originally came to light, they were worried that some immunity deal that he had been promised by some other law enforcement agency would make his confession inadmissible. Again, even though the people that would be charging him didn't make any deal with him. But that does not matter because he then overinterpreted the deal and repeatedly confessed in a docuseries and memoir and et cetera, et cetera. And again, he confirmed...
A series of podcasts.
Right? He confirmed his role in a 2009 interview with Las Vegas detectives, etc. But again, he totally didn't do it. That's for entertainment purposes only. And his attorneys are arguing that the delay in prosecution and waiving of the alleged prior immunity agreement violates his constitutional rights. Because apparently the delay itself is the problem, because the lengthy lag time resulted in, and I'm quoting here, dimming of memories, the death or disappearance of witnesses, and the loss or destruction of material physical evidence. And if that's probably true and would work in his favor during the trial,
right?
But there's so many confessions. It's the Trump thing. He didn't confess, he bragged about it.
Yeah, like several places and in several different media.
Yeah.
He wrote it. He said it.
He signed his name to it.
Yeah, God. He confessed it. God damn, dude.
He reenacted it for that docuseries.
Like when the subsequent law enforcement team brought him in and he was like, oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, I did that. And they were like, what? Huh? Give us 1 second. Like popped out and just like, well, that was easy. What do you think that was all about? We just solved the Tupac thing in like 8 seconds.
We just asked him.
Did anyone just think to ask? Hey, Keith, just to be like super clear, you're confessing to the murder. Yeah. I mean, I did it before too. And they gave me the immunity then. Yes. Okay. That was then. Got it. Jesus. You almost feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, he's just stupid.
He just didn't know any better. It was just like, oh yeah, I definitely did the murder.
Right. And you get to say that once.
Yeah. And in a very limited setting and maybe like triple check and have a lawyer with you.
Yeah. And I really just think he just overinterpreted that. He thought, oh, I had a guy say that I had immunity. Therefore, like,
I'm good.
Yeah. I can just tell everyone. This is really taking a weight off my chest.
Not how it works.
No. Garrett, what other stupid news do you have?
Tekashi 6ix9ine, friend of the show, is taking LA Fitness to court.
What?
Yeah, this is true.
Okay.
He's suing the gym over a vicious attack he endured in 2023 that sent him straight to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, in the bathroom, huh?
Yes. Second deadliest room in a house. This show has obtained legal documents from the Palm Beach County, Florida courts revealing that the rapper...
Let me pause you here. You're not going to say the Hornet Room is the most dangerous, are you?
It's not the least.
Okay, all right, continue. I apologize.
Anyway, this show has obtained legal documents from Palm Beach County, Florida, revealing that the rapper is asking for more than $1 million in damages, claiming that the gym failed to provide adequate security to prevent the attack by 3 men, labeled as, quote, Latin King gang members in the suit, at one of the company's South Florida locations.
I'm sorry, LA Fitness is supposed to have, like, goons in the like, locker room?
Now, so the idea of any gym you and I have ever been to, and we've been to some gyms, you gotta scan your card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta do a fingerprint. I don't care for that.
Right, because they steal your essence. I get it.
Yes. And they use them. They sell them.
Mm-hmm.
They sell them to people like you, Travis. Anyway, I guess you could argue that provides some sense of security. And if these people walked in and didn't scan, they shouldn't have been there. And it's sort of their responsibility to make sure everyone who's in the gym is a gym member.
Well, but what if they were scary? I'm not going to stop scary guys.
Well, I don't think that's a legal defense.
Fear?
Now, if all 3 of these Latin kings were members and they scanned in and then beat the shit out of this guy, he has no case.
You've got a real sticking point here. That is bizarre, but...
Well, no, what I'm saying is, if you have... Listen, I've been hassled.
If they're also members, then anything that happens in that gym is all nice and legal. I get it.
Definitely not what I'm saying. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to see eye to eye on this one. Point being is, I don't think he should have a case. I think they'll probably settle out of court for half as much.
Okay.
Tim, what other legal news do you have?
In legal Busta Rhymes news, Garrett, Busta Rhymes, aka Trevor George Smith Jr., was arrested on assault charges this week right here in the Big Apple for allegedly and repeatedly punching his assistant. Unclear why he needs an assistant. Doesn't really have a job. But his assistant is Dashiell Gables. And he was punched allegedly for being on his phone during work. And again, how much work could this guy possibly have that he doesn't have a few minutes to check his phone? He has to be constantly on call for Busta Rhymes. Very
And I'll
confusing.
say this, Busta Rhymes, huge dude.
Yes. And
I would not want to get hit by him.
yeah, and apparently hates phones, with multiple rants during concerts calling out individual audience members until they put it away, saying things such as, "Ayo, fuck them camera phones too. Let's get back to interacting like humans. Put them weird-ass devices down. I ain't from that era. That shit don't control the soul. Fuck your phone." He also has a history of punching people, driving drunk, gun possession, and throwing protein drinks at gym employees, allegedly. But the fun part about this comes in the response that Dashiell Gables gave to talking to the New York press, because they asked him for comment. They asked him for any sort of comment on the situation, to which he replied, "Maybe later, maybe in the future. I can't mess up my case, bro. It's just not gonna be worth it. An article in the paper as opposed to a $6 or $7 million settlement? I'm not risking that, sorry."
Whoops. Oh boy.
Just don't say anything, man.
Yeah, just no comment. God damn, dude.
Garrett, that's my last story. Do you have any other stories for us? News, ideally?
Garth Hudson, the last surviving member of the band, just died.
Oh.
Yeah.
I miss Levon Helm. That guy. Yeah, it was really...
Okay, let's end on something like legitimately positive. We almost always just have horrible news about nightmare people. The Weeknd, performer The Weeknd, excluder of ease in his name, is stepping up in a fairly big way, Tim. He has pledged $1 million to support LA firefighters and residents caught in the chaos of the raging wildfires of the most recent 3 fires that ravaged Los Angeles. The singer is teaming up with somebody called EXO Humanitarian Fund and the World Food Program USA, directing his donations to the LA Fire Department Foundation, GoFundMe's Wildlife Relief Fund, and the LA Regional Food Bank to bolster relief efforts. To which I say, here, well done, Mr. End. And to you other celebrities that have so much, where's your checkbook?
That's
Go
true.
fucking help people.
That's true. I believe Taylor Swift gave a bunch of money, too.
Oh, okay. Good job, T-Swift. Of course, we would never say anything negative about her on this show.
No, because we're scared of her completely reasonable fan base.
But we don't say that out loud.
Reasonable, I said.
Great stuff, Timmy. That brings us to the end of the show. Before we wrap things up, we have to announce what album are we going to be listening to next week? No, this week, and talking about next week.
We will be listening to something called Doja Cat and his or her album Planet Her. Ooh, do you think it's an actual cat?
I doubt it. I hope it's sort of a cheetah or cat lady hybrid. I don't know what a Doja Cat is.
Like, I hope it's like you remember that second Wonder Woman movie?
Oh, vaguely.
Do you remember when
A lot of rage.
Kristen Wiig got turned into some sort of cat person? And she
what if she had a pop album?
Right. That's what this is probably going to be like.
What if it's just all cat-themed songs?
Super in.
Meow.
Okay, that's not a cat-themed song. That's a song sung by a cat.
You're right. I apologize. It'd be more like, God, I'm not a cat owner. I don't know anything
Look
about
at this
him.
cat.
Like,
All he does is purr.
that's not a song. It'd be more like balls of yarn and catnip, balls of yarn and nip, balls of yarn and nip,
Balls
hanging,
and nip.
balls and nip, balls and nip with the ladies, balls and nip for my pussy. Hey, look, it's a new low. Welcome, everybody.
Yes.
God, so that'll be a lot of fun. Like that for 90 minutes. Well, as always, folks, you can find us at hatePodMail@gmail.com. You can go to hatepod.com and it might work. I'm currently feuding actively with HostGator. It's up right now. They might take it back down. I got to re-platform, but Jesus H. Christ. And guess what, folks? You can just please stop sending us so many emails about AI art, all right? It's just temporary. We just need something there.
Oh, yeah.
Just
People
relax.
hate it.
Ah, they're so
And they
angry.
hate you.
I know. That's fine. Send me some art to replace it and I'll fucking stick it there. But until you do, the thing that took me 8 seconds is going there. Okay? Fuck off. Thanks for listening. HatePod on Instagram, album HatePod on Twitter. I'm G Harvey Tweets. We got subreddits, Discord servers. We're on all the platforms. You found the show. That means you know how to use Google, so go use it to find the rest of the things. If you want to reach us, we're not hard to find. We will reply to you. Send us emails with your thoughts, your ideas, your songs, your artwork. All of it will be featured here on the show sooner or later, unless you tell us not to, in which case we'll keep it a secret. Of course, that reminds me, continue to send us your dark secrets, and we'll either keep them to ourselves and be quietly horrified, or continue to share them here on the show, anonymized, of course, for your protection. I think that's going to do it for this week. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and although they are not related by blood, Garrett P. Harvey was
God damn
raised
it.
for 3 formative years of his childhood by Bill O'Reilly.
He was in the back house.
You were in the back house with him, though.
Separate side of the back house. I was on the right. It was the same room.
You heard it here first, folks. Garrett Harvey to the right of Bill O'Reilly.
I don't like this. I'm deleting most of it.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.